Let's see if the 16GB version of the RTX 4060 Ti can deliver a good gaming experience at 1080p resolution in the latest, most demanding games. For this test, I've paired it with the Ryzen 5 7600X CPU. Do you need a new Windows license key like I do right here with my new PC build? Then I have a great solution for you. Over the last 3 years, I've saved a lot of money by buying my Windows keys from cdkeyoffer.com. Allow me to demonstrate. I will be going for Windows 11 Pro. So just click on Buy Now. Then use my discount code IVADIM. Hit Apply. And that brings the price down to $22. After that, you just submit the order and select the payment method you wish to use. I will be going with the safe and fast PayPal payment. So you just press Pay Now. Once you're done with your payment, you will be redirected back to CDK Offer. And that's your order complete. Now you can go to User Center. Actually, it will redirect you there, where you can just grab your key by pressing View Key Code, Get Key, and then copy it. Then you can use your search bar to quickly bring up activation settings, change key, insert that key, hit Next, activate, wait a few seconds, and there you go. Now you have your Windows activated and ready to use for a fraction of the cost that you would normally pay. Get yours now at the link in the description below. And by the way, you may have noticed that they also have other Microsoft software, including Office 2019 and Office 2016. Don't forget to use my discount code if you want to grab any of those. Let's start with Hellblade 2. This is the most demanding game. It has ray tracing, it is built in Unreal Engine 5 and uses all of the latest Unreal Engine 5 technologies and features. We're at native 1080p, no frame generation for now, but we'll take a look at this feature later on in the video. And I want to start the test with the high quality preset. This is the highest preset available that has ray tracing enabled. And even at 1080p resolution, the performance is not very good. Just take a look at that. We haven't even descended into the forest, where we'll lose most of our FPS, and yet we are already below 50 FPS. And once we enter one of the most demanding areas in the game, we can see that we can only count on 30 plus FPS experience. This is it. Although once the textures have loaded in, it appears that the FPS stays above 40 in this particular scene. Well, let's just move further down and see. Yep, again, 30 plus FPS. If we are moving into the new area, yeah, that's not great. So we have to do something about it. If you're interested, at the moment the game is using close to 7 GB of video memory and 12 GB of RAM. We definitely have to adjust some settings to get 60 plus FPS experience even in worst case scenarios. Let's try frame generation. And this is much better. Just take a look at how different the performance is. We are now getting above 70 FPS where we used to get close to 50. Not bad, not bad. Let's descend into the forest and see if we get FPS drops below 60. 62, 61, 63. So far so good. I think this might be it. Oh, 59, 58. Yeah, it's not quite consistent 60 plus. However, this feels great. I don't mind if the FPS drops just a little bit further below 60. It's not a big deal. If you want to enjoy this game on the highest graphics preset, then you have to use frame generation. However, we can also disable frame generation and simply lower the graphics quality from high down to medium. And that way, the 4060 Ti can manage to stay above 60 FPS in normal environments, I would say. Sometimes you will see FPS above 70 in less demanding scenes. However, I'm most curious to see what kind of performance we'll get on that path over there. And there we go. We already see that we are getting close to 50. That is not great. However, this is a slow-paced game, so 50 FPS feels okay. But that was 49 just then. Still, it's fine. It is playable and enjoyable. So if you don't want to use frame generation, you can use lower graphics setting. And the game still looks amazing using medium graphics quality. Honestly, visually I cannot tell the difference between medium and high presets. Probably in some scenes I will be able to tell, but even then I'll probably have to look at those scenes side by side. If you're still not satisfied with the performance using the medium graphics preset, you can enable frame generation to boost that FPS for a more fluid experience. Check this out, over 100 FPS in this scene. This is pretty nice. But let's see what happens in the forest. Personally, I still prefer playing on high graphics preset with frame generation enabled on this graphics card, simply because why not? If you can get close to 60 FPS, then why not use the highest graphics preset? And yeah, this was a pretty good experience. 80 FPS, very nice. Let's set graphics preset back to high and check out DLSS quality. Personally, I do not like how DLSS set to quality looks at 1080p, but some of you probably are interested in it, so let's check it out. And in terms of performance, this is quite good. 60 FPS over here. And as we start descending into the forest, 50 FPS. You see, this is why I prefer using frame generation instead of DLSS to boost FPS in this game. It's just a better experience. Visually, DLSS quality is not great. A lot of finer details are lost, which is not the case when you enable frame generation instead of resolution upscaling. Next, let's experience my favorite samurai game. This is Ghost of Tsushima, 1080p resolution, native, so no frame generation, no resolution upscaling for now, and graphics quality is set to very high. In the Golden Temple area, we're getting 70 plus FPS. This is very good, very promising. This tells me that we will probably manage to stay well above 60 FPS in most scenes in this game. Even 1% lows are close to 60, check it out. And even in this area right here, we're getting 69, 68, nice, nice. Yeah, well above 60 FPS. And look at those frame time and frame rate graphs. They are nice and flat. This is a smooth and fluid experience. And at the moment, we are using close to 9 GB of video memory. However, if you want more FPS, I suggest that we enable frame generation. Take a look at this. Above 100 FPS. This is nice. Sometimes we go above 120. So it is possible to lock the FPS at 120 and enjoy the game like that. Although it is a shame that it won't be a consistent 120 FPS experience. Let's see if we can achieve that 120 FPS experience if we use DLSS set to quality on top of frame generation. And there you go. In the Golden Temple area, you can definitely expect that 120 FPS experience. The GPU is still loaded to the maximum. Sometimes it does drop to 97, but very briefly. It's at 99% consistently. That pretty much means that it's fully loaded. And as we traverse the island, the FPS stays above 120. So if you are really into 120 FPS 1080p, then this is the way to go. Personally, I think 90 plus FPS is fine. I would lock the FPS at 90 and avoid using DLSS quality. Let's see if we can have a good time in Horizon Forbidden West at native 1080p. No DLSS resolution upscaling, no frame generation for now, and very high graphics preset. In the town area, the performance is absolutely beautiful. Take a look at that frame time graph. It is nice and smooth. And we're getting well above 60 FPS. When we enter the tavern, we are using above 9 GB of video memory. And the performance is still nice and smooth, despite the fact that there's like a million NPCs around. Very nice. Let's go and have a fight. It's time to hunt some machines. Let's go. Get some. Right. The performance is brilliant and the gameplay is smooth. This is very much enjoyable. In this game, we don't even need to enable frame generation or DLSS. It plays nice as it is. But still, to satisfy our curiosity, I think we should try frame generation. And we're getting quite a decent FPS boost from frame generation in this game. Take a look at that. Above 100 FPS right now. So this is nice. The game feels much smoother like this. I like it. And VRAM usage is now above 10 GB. That is because frame generation does require extra video memory to operate. However, this is not quite a 120 FPS experience, so let's enable DLSS resolution upscaling paired with frame generation and see if we can get to that 120 FPS. I will be using DLSS quality for obvious reasons. It looks like we might be a little bit limited by our CPU because that GPU cannot stay fully loaded, and we're hovering just at around 120 FPS in more demanding scenes. Just check it out, it's 130 right now, but as we move into a more demanding scene, the FPS drops below 120. There we go. Still, I think it is absolutely doable to lock your FPS at 120 with these settings and enjoy the game. Actually, out of curiosity, let's do just that. Cap the FPS at 120 and let's see what happens. There you go. Those frame time and frame rate graphs are pretty flat. I'm curious, will the FPS still drop if we enter this area right here? Yes, it does indeed drop, but it was 117. Previously we've had a dip to 114, I believe. So with the capped FPS, it appears that the experience is slightly better. In conclusion, the 16 GB RTX 4060 Ti delivers a good experience at 1080p. However, I think you're missing out if you are using this graphics card to play games on a 1080p monitor. My favorite experience was using a 4K monitor and using DLSS resolution upscaling to boost the FPS. At 1440p, this graphics card also delivered a great experience, and I think that one was better than 1080p as well. If you want to see those videos, I'll link them in the description below. The MSI Gaming X model performs really well, it is cool, it is quiet, and as you've seen, performs really well. So if you're interested in this graphics card or in any other products featured in this video, particularly this PC build, because I think it works beautifully, then you can find them at the links in the description below. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.